Alright, I want to show you a couple little teasers to hope that you stick with me and I show you a little bit of reality. This is an iron meteorite. It's down at the World Trade Center, and I am going to tell you, and I can prove to you, that this is not just iron, a chunk of rock that came through space. This was alive, and it was likely a lung. And that lung has these vascular entries in it, and these are seen everywhere, and I have copious amounts I can prove this over and over and over and over to you. So trust me when I tell you what you will see is going to be reality, and it will be reality. Now, if I can figure out how to turn this thing off, I'm going to show you some other examples. Now, this is an iron meteorite right here. That's one that came through that's been cut in half. You see that? These are the veins and the arteries. That's the vein, it has the black blood, and that's the artery, and it has the red enriched blood. And as it passes across here, it turns black. This is 100% from life. There's nobody can dispute this. None. It's impossible. It's unimpeachable. This is from outer space. It came through our space. It was alive. Case closed. The next thing that's true is that Comet 67P is a tendon enthesis point. Absolutely unimpeachable evidence on that as well. So these are the things that we're going to investigate that are reality, and they're not being looked at because they're much too spectacular for anybody to admit that there's meat floating around in space. And that is exactly what it is. The planets are alive. There's meat floating around in space. Comets and asteroids and meteorites are alive, or were pieces of body parts, or you see what you see. Needs to be investigated, not laughed at. All right, stick with me. I'm going to stay with this tape and or video, and you're going to see what reality really looks like. Okay, welcome to Minds in Collision. Now this is, I'm going to prove Velikovsky was correct in virtually everything he said. Maligned as he was, I intend to show that he was correct. And he, as far as I can determine, was virtually 100% correct. There's some things I can't speak to, but the things I can speak to certainly show that he's correcter than the people that think they're correct. Now, having said that, I'm going to... So in other words, here's what I'm getting at. The universe is alive. Rocks are not dead pieces of dirt and dust floating around, and they all came together somehow miraculously and started spewing life out. No, absolutely not at all. Everything in the universe, so far as I can determine, although there's obviously things I can't touch or see or be certain of, but there are certain things that I can be certain of. One of them is Comet 67P is a biological chunk of life. It, I believe, is a Achilles tendon. It's absolutely a tendon emplacement of some sort with all of the fibrous bundles, and I show this, and there's absolutely zero question about this. Now, the other thing is iron meteorites, and all the meteorites coming into the Earth's atmosphere contain DNA and veins and arteries, and I show that, absolutely no question about that. And every rock that you see in front of you there contains veins and arteries. You know why? Because every rock on the face of the planet does, except lava, which is a homogeneous basalt lava, which is totally understandable and totally different than the things that you are looking at here. And this is all extremely obvious, chemically testable, fully understood. They are products of life. And you can go in your backyard right now in 10 minutes and prove this yourself. All right, now, having said that, that's the basis of this course and the basis of this studies, which is going to show you what these rocks literally are biologically. And they are. They're biological things. This one right here, that was DNA test, 100% human. That's and you see rocks, they all have veins and arteries. I mean, I'm going to show all this stuff. So, anyway, this is where we're starting. Now, here's the deal. Traditional academic education, they treat you like you know nothing and they know everything. Well, that's not true, and it's actually exactly the opposite. They have read a bunch of books that were wrong, and then they told you you have to believe it, or you just lost $30,000 and your life is ruined. So I am here to tell you reality, and I'm not going to charge you $30,000, maybe 20. No, I'm just going to roll through this thing. I am not smarter than you. I'm not going to look down at you. I just know things that I've studied and I know what they are. I don't accept the things that I've been told, and I'm glad I didn't, because they're not right. And now you will see that I have realized what literally everything that's been taught to you, literally everything that's theoretical, is completely wrong. Geology, some of the force physics and things like that I'll accept, but anything to do with theoretical, planetary, all that's all wrong. Totally 100% wrong. Geology, totally 100% wrong. Everything is wrong. Because they started not knowing that what brought everything you see there, what brought that together was not some flocculation of recrystallization of spooky entanglement from a distance. No. This is life. It's all life. And I have the proof of it. There's no question whatsoever. And I have the videos to show it, and I have the chemistry, and I have anatomists to agree with this, and I have CAT scans, and I have DNA, 3 DNA tests, 7 CAT scans. I mean, it's insane not to look at this information as credible. And right now, it hasn't been seen by anybody in academic, because they refuse to look at it. So I am going to go directly to you, because you deserve to understand the truth about these things, and this is going to be the truth. You reject it, fine. You take it, fine. After that, I'm done. Case closed. I'm not going to treat you like a fool. I'm not going to look down at you. You know everything that I know. You're totally as competent and capable as I am, and probably more. You're certainly more capable and competent than somebody that's read something that's totally invalid and accepted it, and when presented with evidence that contradicts that, which is physical and verifiable, rejects it. If you accept it, I think you're more intelligent than anybody that's, perfectly happy deluded. And some people are perfectly happy deluded. Don't be one of those people. Look at the evidence I present to you, think it over, then you're on your own. All right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what these physical items are, what they represent biologically, and some of them you can have a finger that looks 20 different ways. And I'm going to show you why and how this happens, and what the transitions are in the dirt and the mud, and all kinds. It's very interesting. I think it's fascinating. Anyway, and I found that's why I've done this for years, and now I think I've gotten almost all the answers that I need to have. If somebody has questions or answers that can help me, I'm certainly willing, but I think most of them I got answered now. And this is what I'm going to convey to you. Now, if you find something that I'm wrong about, God bless you, tell me. I'd love to know that. And I won't hide it. I won't run away from it. Because this is how you learn. How could you possibly think that you know everything there is just by reading a book? It's very, very hard to understand why some people think they're so much more intelligent than other people. Anyway, that's my opinions, and everything in this will be my opinions. Yeah, I'll be sarcastic, I'll be kind of nasty sometimes, but I don't really care, and you don't care. What you're looking for is the information that's valid. And it'll be valid, and you take it for what it's worth. So, this is the introduction. After this, everything that you see here, and we're going to get to know each other, because there's a lot to do with this, and there's a lot more. And you got to start out with the quantum physics, which is the one thing I really do accept, is quantum, and that seems to make a lot of sense, and I can visualize quantum, and that's what I need you to do, is to be able to visualize what I'm saying to you, and I'll make a visual to you. So stick with me on this. Come into the world of reality right now. If you believe anything you've heard, and if you believe anything about how the Earth was built and planetary, it's made out of creatures. I guarantee, absolutely. If you could tell me that I'm wrong and look me in the face and honestly say that what I'm presenting to you is not credible and believable, I will eat every rock off of that desk. What I'm presenting to you is unimpeachable. All it has to do is be examined, and then you're off to the races. So that's the case. Now, let's take it from there. And here's the plan. There is no plan. We just do what we're going to do. I'll start into it. The first thing I need to tell you about is we'll just roll through this thing, because I don't like that structured anything. I never did in my whole life. So that's how we're going to do it. Nobody's paying me for this. I'm not doing anything for any special reason. I just want to show this stuff. So this is number 1, and then number 2, as far as I know, comes after number 1. So that's the one we're going to go to next. All right. Thank you. This is going to be exciting. Stick with me. And you're going to learn all kinds of stuff. Because here's the first thing you're going to learn is quantum physics. And you're not going to teach all these spectacular, bloviated terms. I'm going to show you how things bond together. Because you are literally a chunk of crystal. You're a chunk of crystal. Everything in the universe is a chunk of crystal. When you have bonds bonding together, pluses coming to minuses, that's a crystal. I don't care how you put it. There's dipoles in it. There's a positive and negative center somewhere in there when you have 2 molecules coming together, and virtually all the things on the face of the earth consist of 2 atoms. And a lot, at least 2 atoms. Most everything is like O2, gold comes in a 2-atom configuration. Remember these things, because this is important, the way things add together. Because when I look at things, see, here's my problem. I don't think science can see the trees for the forest. They look at a big thing, oh, this happened, and then they walk away. Well, no, I look at that and I say, well, how did that happen? And then I got to get to the tree, and by the time I get to the tree, I got to get to the roots. By the time I get to the roots, I got to get to the dirt. By the time I get to the dirt, I got to get to everything that goes. There's so much to know before you can know anything. See, that's the problem. They think they know everything before they know anything. So let's stick with this, and I'm going to take you right down to where the atoms talk to each other. All right, stay with me, and you will learn. And what I'm going to teach is the truth. Probably not going to cost you anywhere near what the other people charge. And that's the problem. It's terrible. But anyway, I'm going to stay away from that because that gets me in trouble. All right, I want you to learn in the real world, and I'm going to take you there now.